Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Once again, I'm Ned from Ned's Tack Bits, otherwise known as your friendly neighborhood basement dweller. Don't worry, ma'am, I am from the internet. Shovel 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me because I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. We gotta get some number 9 coal into those bins. Send them on back. Get some money. Get further into debt. What was going on here was the company. It was a place that everyone needed coal. And going to coal, you had to work your way into the mines, down to the bottom of the mine. Sometimes you'd spend 2 hours hunched over just to get to the start of your shift. Anyways, that's the kind of stuff that happened. And it backbreaking labor. But what's going on now is our lives are increasingly being mined by data brokers that are out there in force more than ever. 20 years ago, if I would have said this stuff, people would have been upset and said I was a conspiracy theorist. But it's absolutely true. We can't just hide behind whatever and say it's not happening. It is absolutely happening. Our data is being filtered, everything that we do. Eventually, in the next 20 years, I really believe that telepathy is going to be a thing that Bell is going to sell, and every part of your thoughts are going to be scrounged through the same way that your history, internet history, is scrounged through. And the same way your actions, your keystrokes, they can figure out who you are based on your keystrokes these days. Unbelievable amount of info. Okay, legitimately, if you decided to get that information on anyone within your family, that would be abusive and bad, bad, bad. But since it's the government and since it's business, it's fine. Because government and business seem to have these two different places and two different laws. So when I got divorced, I was told don't have cameras in your house, even though you want to document the abuses your wife has against your child. Don't do that. Don't do that. I still don't understand that. And then over in the regular world, I know places that have so damn many cameras on their employees that they really don't, and they're just not doing it for the reasons they should. But they can do that. It's like that's not abusive, but that's abusive. Ultimately, what I want to drop here is everyone is really quick to say military, army, all these people are the people that gave us the rights that we have, and that is partially correct. I'll give you 50% of that. I will not disrespect military of any nation. If you stand up for your nation, like, great on you. Seriously, I salute you, bud. That's what you're supposed to do if you are if you're a man, and a real man are the men that actually, man, if you get through basic training of any country, hats off to you, bud. Frickin' hats off to you. But the military is not responsible for your rights and freedoms within your country. They take orders. They in every country they take orders. I think it was, what was it, the Philippines? There was some type of strange coup where the president tried to kick everybody out and then kick everyone out of their Congress. The military was literally called in to keep Congress out, and Congress was yelling at them, and all of a sudden they got a call to go back, and it was like, I was just part of a coup. I was just part of a coup d'etat. Like, legitimately, this stuff happens. Now, who do we need? Who do we need? So who gave us these rights then? Who gave us these rights? The people who are mining our thoughts, like, legitimately, they're mining our thoughts. Are they're mine? Every action we take are being mined. So who gave us the freedoms that we enjoy? Do you think the army gave us women's suffrage? No. It was it was the Labor Party. The Labor Party. We don't really have much of a Labor Party anymore. Perhaps we haven't needed it because we've done so well without it. In Canada, our Labor Party drives really famous vehicles and wears really nice watches. Women have the right to vote because of women's suffrage. Labor is cool because people had fought for it. Imperial oil. Look up why it is the way it is. No, no, seriously, look up history. Guys, get off your ass. Stop. Look at history because it's repeating itself. Legitimately, Imperial oil was a situation where a very God fearing and Christian individual used money and evil ways in order to figure out the rail system. And since he could figure out the rail system, he could figure out the oil system. And basically, he had a monopoly that the rich people were making. And through these rich people making their monopoly, they created a pool of human suffering that is almost blind to us even now, unless we specifically focused on it. This pool of human suffering is something that I see coming up throughout time in different places. People at the top who have the actions to do things, not doing anything. The potato famine, which is the reason my ass is in Canada. The people who are living in the country legitimately didn't think it was going on, though it was happening, because they were insulated from reality, the same way JFK admits that he was insulated from the Great Depression. At least he had the balls to say it. I just don't want to keep going forward in this world, making this mistake again. Making this mistake again where when the Imperial Oil thing happened, the thing that took Imperial Oil down ultimately was a kid who was burning papers that had to be burned. He got looking through the papers. It's really funny because it's situations like this that always set shit off. Just some kid. He was looking at papers and he found out that one suitcase thrown to him had the times and the prices of all of the railways and the oils going. I love this next part. He took this information to a white woman journalist. And between her, Theodore Roosevelt, and a whole lot of working class people, oh man, they got changes going through. They got so many changes going through. They got so many changes going through. And we need to find the balls to do that again. We need to find the balls to make sure that our children have a good future. Because so much of this information is being taken by the top. And even those who try are finding that they can't make it anymore. And that is interesting. So ultimately, I think we need a new Labour Party, a true Labour Party who is legitimately interested in labor. The NDP in Canada is absolutely not interested. The Labour Party in the UK is more interested in immigrants, and if that's what they're after, that's fine. I'd prefer my country to be safe with immigrants who are well checked, well vetted, and who feel a piece of community and camaraderie to the country instead of feeling it as an extended family that hopefully during bad times, they don't think of taking advantage of the extended family. But within that, we have to admit that it's possible for this to exist. If we think that no immigrant would ever come over and take advantage of us, we are going to be taken advantage of. In order to prepare for peace, in order to have peace, we must prepare for war. And I see so many people being taken advantage of. And these people being taken advantage of, instead of wanting justice, they just want the world to be a better place. But the thing is, sometimes there's just fucking marauders that come on by and you gotta punch them in the face so they'll frick off. And that seems to be an ongoing thing within any. Okay, so I love stories, right? There always comes to the story of peaceful people living in a village, and then the protagonist walks up to them, and they, oh, hey, I found you during my time of whatever. Oh, thank you for helping me out. And all of a sudden, the marauders come by, and the religious people are like, oh, what can we do against these marauders? And the protagonist saves them, and the marauders go away. And the villagers didn't have to, or the religious people didn't have to do anything, actually. It was just one bad guy kind of stood up to the other. What do you do when the Jehovah's Witnesses came by? I asked them, what would you do? And we just give them the money and our food. That's what we do. We are godlike people, which is putting me into another thing. It is potentially easy for your society, for the people within your society, though they hail to a god. I gotta watch what I do with that arm these days. Though they hail to a god, their actions might not be in line with said god. The CEO, the owner of Imperial Oil, was the CEO, the owner? I don't know. But anyways, he was a God-fearing person, and and people wouldn't even take his money. They thought he was so evil because of all of these things that he did. But he thought for some reason he could get away with it. He was American. He went to church. He thought he was a good person, but in the end, the parks and grounds that he held open for everyone was just gated off. Gated off. I see a country full of people ruling people that they have no idea what life is like for them. And the people at the bottom noticing a more and more turbulent time, becoming more and more violent. I think within the lower class, we might be seeing soon the better of them dying and the worst of them finding a way to survive. Did I really just say that? Hey, it's how it happens. You put enough rats in a bucket, what happens? Okay, so legit, you put enough rats in a bucket, eventually there's only one rat left. You let that rat go and you don't have to worry about any other rats. You only have one rat to worry about. We're legitimately facilitating that. The prices of housing going up all over, especially Canada, is facilitating child abuse. Where do kids have to go? Where do the kids have to go when they get in fights with their parents? When their parents lock them out of their houses? We know this happens. Where do they go? They go to their boyfriends, girlfriends. And then they get pregnant. Whee! Guys, we can't be locking the people in the bottom out anymore. We got to figure shit out. We got to bring the whole country in. But what I'm really worried about is Meta. ByteDance. Zucks. All these people with our information. We have to be okay with admitting that the world wants our information. We are part of the company store now. And I think we have to admit. And that's my rant for today. And legitimately, do good. There might not be any gods out there. We might be all that we have. We got to do good. Not just for our family. Not just for ourselves. For all of society. For all of society. Maybe your country is something worth doing something for, and not just something for taking something from. At the end of the day, I wonder how many people actually care about their country. They actually care about anyone not directly affiliated to their family. Is this survival? Is this their evil? I don't know. Have a good one.